Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word, the podcast where we explore the fascinating world of English vocabulary. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Our word of the day is boundary, a C1 level noun meaning a limit or border. A boundary defines the edge or extent of something, marking where it begins and ends. Think of it as the line that separates two areas, concepts, or even behaviors. In everyday language, we use boundary to talk about physical borders, like the boundary between two countries, but also about less tangible limits, such as personal boundaries in relationships. Let's delve deeper into understanding this word. Now, let's explore some synonyms for boundary. One synonym is frontier. For example, the settlers pushed the frontier westward. Another synonym is border. Consider the sentence, the border between the two nations is heavily guarded. A third synonym could be limit. There's a speed limit on this road. Furthermore, we can use the word perimeter. The soldiers secured the perimeter of the camp. Finally, the word confine can be used as a synonym for boundary in certain contexts. For instance, the artist felt a sense of confine within the traditional art forms. Let's see how these synonyms work in different sentences to illustrate their similar, yet distinct, usages. The frontier was a dangerous place in the 1800s. The border crossing was delayed due to security concerns. The speed limit is clearly posted. The soldiers patrolled the perimeter of the area. She felt confined by her responsibilities. Now, let's look at antonyms of boundary. The opposite of a boundary is something that indicates a lack of limits or restrictions. One antonym is infinity. For example, the possibilities seemed like infinity. Another antonym is unlimitedness. Consider the sentence, the project had a sense of unlimitedness in its early stages. A third antonym could be vastness. The vastness of space is awe-inspiring. We might also consider boundlessness as an antonym. The boundlessness of her generosity was remarkable. Lastly, the word expanse could also serve as an antonym to boundary. For instance, the expanse of the oceans stretched before them. Here are some sentences using these antonyms. The universe appears to be moving towards infinity. The project's initial appeal was its unlimitedness. The vastness of the desert was breathtaking. His kindness knew no boundlessness. The expanse of the plains was mesmerizing. Now, how can we use the word boundary in everyday life? We often talk about setting personal boundaries in relationships, meaning establishing limits on what behavior you will accept from others. For instance, she set clear boundaries with her family to protect her mental health. We might also talk about respecting the boundaries of other countries, meaning not infringing on their territory. The treaty respected the boundaries of both nations. You might also hear about intellectual boundaries, meaning the limits of one's knowledge or understanding. The scientist pushed the boundaries of knowledge in his field. Here are a few more usage examples. The fence marked the boundary of their property. The river forms a natural boundary between the two states. It's important to respect other people's personal boundaries. She felt suffocated by the lack of boundaries in her work life. He crossed the boundary of acceptable behavior. The research aims to push the boundaries of our understanding. We need to establish clear boundaries for the project scope. Maintaining healthy boundaries is crucial for well-being. The agreement defined the trade boundaries between the two countries. Digital technology has blurred the boundaries between work and personal life. The concept of nation-states is defined by the boundaries that they control. Cultural differences can create boundaries even where there are none. To summarize, boundary is a C1 level noun meaning a limit or border. We explored synonyms like frontier, border, limit, perimeter, and confine. We also looked at antonyms like infinity, unlimitedness, vastness, boundlessness, and expanse. We examined various ways the word boundary is used in everyday language and in different contexts. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Hello Word. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others find our show. Now for your challenge. Create your own sentence using the word boundary and share it in the comments below. I look forward to seeing your creative examples. Until next time, happy learning.